The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think
he missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Outside Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Loud Pedal Motorsports 200 here in the Irish Hills of southeastern Michigan. This is round 25 of the Premier Racing League Patriot Fire Cup Series, and you're going to get to see all 100 laps unfold live here on the Global SimRacing channel. Good day, race fans. I'm Sean Ambrose, and alongside me in the booth tonight is Justin Prince. Behind the scenes, we have our director, I'm Jed Yaman. Twisting and tweaking the dials, and our camera sets, as always, are provided by the much sought after and very private Dougie Beard. From the Great Lakes State, we welcome you to another GSRC broadcast. Now it's time to talk to the Motor City Madman himself, Justin Prince. What can you tell us about the fastest track in NASCAR?
Thank you very much, Sean. Of course, we're at the beautiful 2-mile circuit here in Brooklyn, Michigan for today's event. It is considered, as you mentioned, one of the fastest tracks, if not the fastest track in NASCAR, with cars going fast as much as 212 miles per hour real life. On iRacing, it's about up to 206. Now, as well, this track was even used as a base at one point for Auto Club Speedway's construction. But to help explain what to expect at today's nice little circuit, let's head to your GSRC lap guide.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the Michigan International Speedway in the GSRC Chevrolet SS Cup car. Michigan is a very, very fun track for drivers, fans alike. My home track, so I might have a little bit of an allegiance there. Across the start-finish line, getting your hot lap started, up here by the wall, letting it wind up, kind of like how you qualify at a plate track. Off into turn one, you're going to use the brakes just a little bit to let it set. Back into gas about halfway, 3/4, back on full throttle. Don't hit that seam down there. Across, a little squirrely out of the corner, aiming for that crossover gate. You got to really maximize the way that this car runs off the corners. Off into turn three, right about where the start-finish line, or not the start-finish line, where the safer barrier starts, right there in turn three. Let it go into the throttle, float it way out here. And then you're going to see guys throughout the race and for their hot lap bring it right down here onto the track's apron. Really kind of let you get a good run, head of steam heading off into turn one again, off into the corner using that safer barrier as your braking mark. You're not using a whole ton of brake. You're really just using enough to let the nose set on the car. So that way you get a good bite through the middle and be able to get a good run off, because that's where you're going to be able to make up a whole lot of time here. Down into turn three for the final time today, letting it float to the bottom here. And this is just going to get exponentially harder as the tires and the track wear out. Out of turn four, letting it float up there, back down here to the apron, and across the line. And that is going to complete our track guide around the Michigan International Speedway in the GSRC Chevrolet SS. My name is Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
2 miles around, safe and sound. That was a recorded lap around Michigan International Speedway. The 2-hour practice session, known as Happy Hour, is just about over. Drinks are about to be full price again. The free hors d'oeuvres are already gone, and qualifying is just about underway. In the meantime, let's talk to Woodrow Mahan. Woodrow, good evening, sir. How you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good. It's Thursday night. Let's go racing. How you guys doing?
Man, we are fired up, ready to go. Talk to me real quick now that you're driving in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. How hard is it to make the transition from a DW12 on a Wednesday night and then come over here on a Thursday night and get ready to wheel around a Cup car at Michigan International Speedway?
So, you run, how you do it, you run the feeder series, but, last night running Phillip Island, we were running go-karts last night, and now here I am, now I'm running these big, fat, heavy things around this track. It's tough. It's tough. You gotta get your laps in, you gotta use happy hour to its fullest.
Yes, sir, and now you've been looking pretty good in practice. You got quite a few laps in, actually. Where's the real speed here at Michigan?
Real speed is on exit, man. It's all about getting the car set up and getting the thing turned and just sending it,
Speaking of turning, how much of a factor tire is going to be on a long run tonight?
It is the factor. I don't, nobody's going, you got to be crazy to run a whole fuel load here, so it's going to be who can take care of that right rear, because actually compared to Sunday and Tuesday night, these cars are, it's free. It's a fun little drive.
All right. Well, listen, we want to talk to you again here at the end of this race, so find yourself to the podium, and we'll do it again, brother.
LPM, baby. Have a good race, guys.
All right, and that's Woodrow Mahan, one of the Loud Pedal Motorsports drivers. I didn't even introduce him as a Loud Pedal Motorsport driver, but this is the Loud Pedal 200 tonight, Justin. And you know what? We're starting. This is the first race of the fall segment. So why don't you go ahead and take a look at the overall season points for our fans here real quick.
Yes, like you said, we're entering the next segment of our season with Brian Yazik leading the overall standings by just 16 points over Nick Cohan. Tommy Ryan follows behind in third position right now, 108 points back overall. But Thomas George, with about 2/3 of his finishes in the top 10, 126 points back. Ricky Harden rounds out the top 5, with Tyler Dalton switching spots, moving down to 6, 5 spots back. James Krahul has been having a decent season overall. He's 150 points back overall, while Tim Johnston's 8th. Drew Carroll, one of the fastest cars currently in practice here at Michigan, is in 9th. And Jeff Ward, who had a red-hot summer season, has moved himself into the top 10, 262 points back of Brian Yazik.
All right, and, we just wrapped up the summer segment. And, man, what a battle it was. Now, of course, Yazik runs away with it there at the top, but the battle throughout the field was a really, really good one. But here we sit now, basically 2/3 of the season now complete. Yazik is the man to beat. Let's talk about a couple drivers who are moving up. Well, Joshua King's one of them. He's missed a few races. He needs to kind of get back on the other side of winning, or just the other side of being here and pick up some races to catch up to these guys. He's got Josh's got a few top 10s and a top 5, and one of those drivers quickly moving up the board, but he's all the way back there in 25th. So right now, maybe he could reel in the top 10. It's going to be hard, though, because the top 10 is really, really loaded with a bunch of drivers who've, quite frankly, have been here for most of the races. So it's going to be tough, and that's where you see the real difference outside the top 10. It's really more of a matter of guys that have been here. One driver that's remained inside the top 15, not making all the races in here anymore, is Josh Skrupa, who continues to kind of fall down through that crowd. But Josh, before he had to step away for the rest of the season, had 3 wins under his belt. So that's one of those drivers with a bunch of them. If Scott Eckrich could ever come down under race control, he might be able to get back into this thing. He's got 4 wins on the season. But right now, Yazik's 4 wins under his belt, continuing to move forward. Jeff Ward is the other driver with 4 wins that's still very, very much in this thing and could be a factor tonight here at Michigan. I think I pretty much said it today in the woodshed. Anytime Ward shows up, I think it's pretty safe to say he's a factor in these races, Justin.
Yes, Ward has been a factor big time in the most recent races. He's been leading in most of the races for the most laps, and he has been in position even when it seems in the standings, when you look at it after a race, he didn't finish too well. You think about it, he's been leading the league most laps Ward for the past few weeks, really, in just about every single race. On road courses, short tracks, pardon me, the regular cookie-cutter speedways. It's been a good balance of talent seen from Ward on the season, and he is continuing to rise up. But this is also a place where you're going to see a lot of newer drivers come up. We have 2 new drivers, in fact, tonight, I should point out. One of them being Brody Hayes in the number 10 car, for example. While as well, we also have Steve Price Jr. making his first start in this series for the Patriot Fire Cup Series. So a few new drivers also looking to make themselves known today. On top of the drivers, as you mentioned, there hasn't been drivers who have run every single race. One of those being currently one of the top people in practice, just so happens to be Paul Pepper, who has 1 win, in fact, this season at Richmond. So a few different drivers coming, 30 overall today on a very slick track.
Well, you talk about slick. Let's talk about the weather conditions. It's partly cloudy today. It's about 79 degrees outside. It's 104 degrees on track, though. And as Woodrow was just saying there in the interview, it's plenty slick already. The 104 degrees doesn't help that. Right now, we've just started qualifying. You get 2 solo qualifying laps to put in your fastest time. Drivers are already starting to complete that now. Still, much of the field out there working on that first lap right now. Another thing that they've decided on for tonight's race is a 40% track state, which means the track has about 40% use on it of what would, as opposed to starting with absolutely nothing, a green track. This track has got some rubber worked into it, some marbles, and that has carried over to the qualifying session. So based on the practice they put in for a couple hours, this track is probably at about 50 to 60% right now, and that can affect your qualifying run. We're seeing some pretty good times. It seems like about 37 and a half seconds is what you're shooting for. Tyler Dalton on the provisional pole right now with a 37.664, and that leads it here early in practice. Now they do have 100% fuel this evening. It's 100 laps around this 2-mile track, and we will hand out that very, very important American Pool Supply halfway award to someone at lap 50 tonight, Justin.
Yeah, but I don't think people are going to risk running the car right to halfway, because we're talking about this with Mahan before we went to air with the interview there. You're going to see cars going to pit probably about at the lap 33 part, so you're going to see 2 pit stops minimum, as you mentioned, that run, because if you wear out the tires too much, you'll end up being so slow that you'll lose positions even after the pit stop. So you'll see cars trying to stretch out the runs and going for 2 stops tonight overall. And it's like we mentioned, with the high temperature, it's going to be very loose on this track. That's not going to help the tire wear as well. So you're going to see maybe a couple cars try and risk it if we see some cautions to go to the halfway mark. But it's also going to be a very, very risky move if it stays green the entire way around, Sean.
All right, on screen we're watching Jeff Ward, who just took the pole with a 37.637, just a mere 3/100ths of a second faster than Tyler Dalton. Dalton, who just completed his second lap. Ward digging for a second one out there. There's Adam Jersky, Tyler Dalton. I'll catch back up with him. I believe he's already taken his second lap, though. So he's good. We still have Ricky Harden out there digging for a better lap. There's Nick Cohan on track. Nick getting his first one in right now, getting wound up.
Yeah, his practice lap would have put him 4th on the grid at the current time right now. So he's going to be trying to put up a similar time, because the current mark is set by Jeff Ward with a 37.637 at the moment over Tyler Dalton. We'll see how fast he comes out of 4. And using that apron to get the speed, a 37.7. So that's a P9 there for Nick Cohan.
Thomas George just moves up to 4th with his second lap. Nice lap there by Thomas George. Tommy Ryan, looks like he's already come around for his second lap. In fact, he has. Boy, Tommy a little off on the qualifying effort tonight. He sits back in 18th right now. Ooh. Is that Paul Pepper Pepper just moves up the board with his second lap into 12th.
And Cohen's just coming across the line for his second lap, meanwhile, and it's slower than the first at 37.8. So a surprising time there in terms of how he was compared to practice. He's just going to be inside the top 10 there, your current second place in points driver.
I think it's safe to call it. We've got about 4 minutes left, and it's time to hand another MP3 Designs Pole Award to Mr. Jeff Ward. Congratulations, Jeff, the Loud Pedal Motorsports South driver, taking another one here tonight at Michigan International Speedway. And let's follow him around here for one very, very quick lap. Nobody able to break that 37.5 barrier. I think it's probably because we've got 104 degrees on track, but you're going to see Jeff scream down this backstretch here, and then basically, like Woodrow said, send it into turn 3, get it snapped right down there on the bottom. Actually, Jeff keeps it a little bit up off the bottom there. Doesn't dig too hard. It lets it float out just a bit to the center. Gets a nice exit all the way down to the apron because every little bit counts. And goes across the start-finish line for the MP3 Designs Pole Award. Again, congratulations, Jeff Ward. That is going to be the man to get us started this evening from the pole. I think all drivers have pretty much come in. They're going through their drivers meeting now, race control, handing out those very, very last important instructions. And Justin, real quick here, I spent a little time in the woodshed this afternoon, had a little discussion with the drivers, gave them a little bit of a pep talk. And you know, I thought about it long and hard. I think it's time for somebody else to get a win tonight. And you know, I thought Tyler Dalton. I talked about him from the woodshed. He's sitting on the pole. I'm going to go ahead and take Ty tonight. I think it's his night. Who do you like?
I think it's a time for a new winner as well tonight, because while you have drivers like Jeff Ward and many others up there, I think someone like a Drew Carroll tonight, or possibly even a newer driver like Brody Hayes, who I've seen run well, could end up coming away with the victory. There's a few different drivers who are going to be watching tonight, but I think the main one is who you mentioned, Tyler Dalton.
All right, and now we're going to step down trackside for the presentation of arms and this country's national anthem. Loud Pedal Motorsports 200 here at Michigan International Speedway. Just about ready to go. It's time to present our grid for everybody. And boy, we got a big field tonight here. A lot of angry Cup cars out here. And the row 1 is going to be occupied by Jeff Ward and Tyler Dalton.
Drew Carroll's going to start them off on the inside of row 2, while Thomas George will start on the outside.
Brian, always got a target on my back. Yazek, going to be 5th this evening. Starting on the inside of row 3 there, outside him is going to be Devin Serra, starting in 6th.
In 7th, Ricky Harden on the inside. On the outside, Brody Pete Short Hayes.
Row 5, going to be Nick Cohan and James Krugel is starting 10th.
Chris Scala, one of our own, starting 11th alongside Paul Pepper in row 6.
Row 7, Travis McQuistion and Woodrow Mahan
Norman Peltier to third, alongside Justin Rodden in row number 8.
Row 9 belongs to Devin Cannon and hashtag Adam Blattel.
Meanwhile, Tommy Ryan in 19th with the last official recorded time. On the outside, Adam Jersky to round out the top 20.
All right, then we're going to hunt back to row 11. It's going to be Steve Price Jr. in 21st and Tim Johnston 22nd.
Rick Thompson starting alongside Brad Collins in row 12.
Row 13 going to be Rich Jetty and Andrew Jones will start 26th.
The Georgia native starting on the inside, Nicholas Caldwell starting alongside Team Flannel pit crew jerseys, Joshua King.
All right, row 15, Gerald Livingston and John Wilco.
And rounding out that group is Stephen Herring.
All right, so we got them on the grid here, and just about everybody filed in. We'll go off for one lap around. This is a 2-minute track, so it takes just a moment here for everybody to get around.
Yep, it's a big track. It's going to be a one-lap pace lap, of course. 31 cars on the grid, one of the biggest of the season. Rick Thompson will be starting at the end, as he has asked for an end of longest line, it seems. But with that, it should be a very competitive race.
Yes, definitely should be. We'll tell you, this field is in a little bit of trouble with Jeff Ward getting that pole because, listen, that's where I want to start this race. I want to start it on the inside. I want to start it with nothing but clean track and air in front of me. Downforce, such a big factor here to continue to carry that speed through the turns. As you said in the pre-race, they can go get up to upwards of 208, 209 miles an hour heading into these turns. You want to keep downforce on the left front of the car so you can turn that car in at speed. And boy, when you're running in the wash, in the traffic, as they say, you lose it. You lose it quick. And if you don't have that downforce, where does the car go? Well, it goes up the track, and it'll generally find the wall, and that's not where you want to be tonight because you don't get any fast repairs here in the Patriot Fire Cup Series, sir.
Yeah, if one mistake could ruin the rest of your night, so you want to be basically near perfect. You don't want to hit the pace car, of course, tonight in this kind of race. You just want to be near perfect with how you hit those lines. But you also don't want to get too low, as you mentioned, on that bottom line, because especially at a 2, if you're too low on the car, you're going to lose it and hit the inside wall instead, right down that backstretch. But here we go, Jeff Ward and Tyler Dalton entering turn 3, Sean.
All right, and Brad Collins and Rick Thompson have both taken end-of-line penalties, so they'll be starting from the back of the field. But we get set here coming out of turn 4. The iRacing Ford Mustang pace car will peel off this track, and it'll be bombs away for Jeff Ward. It's off, and it's on. There goes Jeff Ford in the loud pedal. Motorsports 200 here at Michigan. Ward wastes no time on the rest of this field. Tyler Dalton gets a decent jump, gets out right in behind him. They already go line to stern, the top 6. Nice trip here through the center of the turn. Good run there for Ward off of 2. Same thing for Tyler Dalton. Here comes Drew Carroll, Thomas George, Brian Yazik, and David Sarah.
A good start for that top 6. Brody Hayes trying to make his move, meanwhile, as Ricky Harden's losing some spots. And it looks like mostly everyone's starting to file single file. A couple battles too wide, but a pretty clean first lap overall.
And Jeff Ward will lead the first lap of this loud pedal Motorsports 200. Tyler Dalton already starting to gain. And again, the top 6 line to stern down the back stretch. Yazik maybe looking to the inside of Thomas George here. Nothing yet. Devin Sarah and the Fred J. Moyer plumbing car with a good run, getting a bit of a run on Yazik. So tough for those cars right now, trying to still build a little heat in those tires, increase the grip, and it's really, really hard to do when you're on a line like that. Sarah getting the worst of the air back there at the end. Yazik going to give him a little bit of help by putting that car down on the apron, but then slides back up. It looks like everybody right now back through the field fighting for their piece of real estate. Travis McQuistion getting the better of Paul Pepper right now back there. That's for the 12th spot. Justin Rodden right behind them. Justin.
Yeah, there's a few different drivers, as you mentioned, shifting around and falling back. You have Ricky Harden being one of the main people, started 7th, already going to lose 10th, fall to 10th. Once Chris Scala finds a way past him with James Corhula on the inside. And in that main swarm right now that we talked about, you have cars like Andrew Jones trying to shift up. Well, you see as well a few different drivers. Adam Wattel losing spots. Adam Jaworski getting some good runs. A bunch of different drivers getting some good runs as we look at this battle up front.
Yeah, and it was Drew Carroll getting around Tyler Dalton, dropping him back to 3rd. Carroll does it on the inside. Brian Yazik back there looking to get a piece of Thomas George there. Keeps looking under, and bringing him along is Devin Serra right there. He now gets the inside of Yazik across the front stretch.
Yeah, and Serra's trying to get a nose under Yazik, and does. Look at that. Look at that move from Serra. Can he hold it, though, on the exit? Yazik does have a better position with that.
Ooh.
And Yazik getting the better exit.
Just up ahead, Tyler Dalton almost loses it coming off of 2. You might have caught that out that front windshield there from that onboard that we had. But Dalton had to gather it up. Did a really, really great job of saving the car. Let's see how he rides here through turn 4. It looks pretty stuck right now.
Yeah, you can see a few drivers trying to find a different line, find some speed so they can try and make a pass, but being a bit unsuccessful in that top 6 grouping now, about to become a top 8 grouping because a few different drivers are now catching up in Hayes and Cohan at the back of that train. You're seeing a few drivers trying to peek their noses under. Thomas George, one of them right now.
Yeah, George kind of taking a peek here. Tyler Dalton, honestly, it doesn't seem like the car has come in yet. He's struggling with it just a bit. Here comes Yazik now to the inside of Paul George. Yazik trying to complete this pass. Oh, baby, look at George gets the run off the top. Wow. Well, we know where George's car is working right now.
Yeah, it's working on that top. Like from what I've noticed in lots of times here at Michigan, the better line for getting the passes seems to be on the top. But in this case, George makes it work this time on Dalton on the bottom.
They are mixing it up early here. And, you know, Drew Carroll up front here with Jeff Ward. Tell you what, Drew, maybe thinking about leading a couple laps here in this race. Seems like he's got the speed. He's definitely in Jeff's toe right now. As we go on board, looking out the back window of Jeff Ward's Chevrolet. Being followed by that Chevrolet, Drew Carroll clipping the apex, number 87.
Look at these lap times compared to each other right now. They are very, very close. They were like that in practice, just 0.003 of a second apart with practice. That time they were just about a 1/10 of a second apart. So they got the speed to compete against each other. We might see these guys swap back and forth as the race goes on.
Well, they have not opened much on the field. Thomas George lurking back there has not lost much at all. Tyler Dalton still have him close here. Brody Hayes off to a good start. Sorry, I forgot about Devin Serra there. Kind of jumped over him. Yazik has fallen back just a little bit, but not bad. He's got Cohan to work with there. But your top 8 has really kind of pulled away from the rest of the field. All right, back to the battle up front. I missed it. I'm sorry, the pass. There it is. I'm going to have it for you here on screen. Drew Carroll overtakes Jeff Ward. Going to set him up. Coming off the turn, gets a run down to the bottom. Takes him all the way down to the almost to the apron. Gets across the line and really, really completes the pass into turn 1. Able to get that downforce working on the front end. The car is able to turn there in the center. And a great move by Drew Carroll puts him in the lead right now 11 laps into this race. Ward's just riding, though. It's okay. The early days here in a 100-lap race.
Early, definitely for sure. There's still a lot of time for stuff to happen, of course. I'm wondering if that just trying to race along was why that he moved to the high side in the try over that lap. But now Ward just filing in. Looking at Chris Scala, though. He's in a battle here. Look at this here with Ricky Hardin, Paul Pepper, James Corhula. And Hardin's just been sliding backwards as the race has gone on.
Yeah, and you know what? Ricky said today in his video to the Premier Racing League that he wasn't feeling it here at Michigan, so he was going to get out here and do the best he could. But I get it. Everybody has their favorite tracks. This Michigan, not one of Ricky's favorites, but he was going to give it the old college try. James Corhula back there having trouble with the car. Ooh, Paul Pepper gets to the wall. Whoa, right in front of me. Car scrambling everywhere. Ricky goes all the way down to the bottom, so does James Corhula. Paul keeps it up there up top. Out of the way. You got McQuistion right behind him wondering, man, what do I do? And now the teammates, Ricky with a little bobble there coming off the turn.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit scary here because the track temp is 104 degrees Fahrenheit, pardon me, which means, like we said at the top of the broadcast, this is a loose track, and you're seeing the results of it now. You might start seeing some cars getting very squirrely out of the exits on the corners and trying hard not to spin out.
Boy, 13 laps in, cars are really starting to free up a lot. We could see something here real soon erupt. I hope not. But the battle back here between Hardin and Pepper is pretty good. Pepper all over him. A couple of Chevys going to battle right there, and James Corhula right in front of them. Corhula holding station in 10th. That's right where he started. We've talked about Ricky's problems, but you know what? It is early. Ricky's still got plenty of time to not do that anymore. He, again, wiggles it out of the turn. Look at this pack coming down the back straightaway.
Yeah, some of these lines are fairly lower than what you usually see, I believe, here at Michigan, or what I've seen in my experiences, I should say. I'm surprised some of these drivers have been able to hold the lines they've been able to hold, especially guys like Hardin and so forth. But looking at some of these battles, Tim Johnston right now, he's in a two-wide battle for second right now with Littell. Look at this one as Littell's blinking and losing some control a bit. This is getting a bit dicey.
Yeah, watch out, Jersky. Yeah, Adam Jersky. I'm sorry there, Justin. Adam Jersky was in the middle of that Patel having serious connection problems right now. That is an issue to watch out for. Tough to drive around him.
No need to apologize in that case, Sean. But meanwhile, Ricky Hardin's continuing to drop back. He's falling back to as back as 13th as McQuistion is now going for the pass. Battle for 12.
Boy, and Paul Pepper drove right up in front of him. Almost took the nose there off of Ricky. Paul looking a little loose coming off the turn, too. There's McQuistion in a 93. Ricky Hardin looking down to the inside. That's the white, pink, and black car there. Race control coming on to let Adam Littell know about his issue. Hopefully he can keep that connection solid and doesn't miss any time in this race. Not missing much up front right now. Drew Carroll still your leader. Paul and I almost said Paul Pepper. Drew Carroll still your leader. Jeff Ward still being patient, just back there riding right now. Seems to be having a pretty decent trip around. Thomas George not able to make much up yet, and Tyler Dalton still has fourth in hand. Devin Serra in fifth, so not much of a change here at the top five. We've got to talk about the start that Brody Hayes has had in his debut, though. Brody up 2 spots, sits in sixth, being followed by Nick Cohan. And that is, again, a really, really good battle here up front. You've got 7 cars that have kind of broken away from the field, and then Brian Yazik all by himself. But you know what? This might not be a bad plan for Yazik. He's got clean air in front of him. Everybody behind him struggling just a little bit. Corhula, Scala are now together on track, just behind Yazik there. Corhula going to look to the inside of Scala, try and get the position away. And Scala's going to let him go. Scala in the 37, Fred J. Morgan Plumbing Chevrolet. Probably has lost a little bit of grip on that car, and lets James go by. Battle for the lead is on. Here we go. Ward looking to the inside. He's going to take it away. Let's catch the replay. Another good pass here for the lead. Ward's going to set him up coming out of turn 4. Drop it down on the inside across the start finish line. And going to send it into turn 1 and around. Great move by Ward to get it back. Time for him to lead some laps again, Justin.
Yeah, using the slingshot to get right on back to the front of this pack here. And he's starting to pull away a little bit once again, but I wouldn't expect that to last for long. Look at Thomas George in the back of Drew Carroll right now. Just all of them, all keeping up to pace. It could be anyone's race at the way this is going.
Working lap 20. I would imagine any driver in this field right now probably wouldn't mind to see a caution. I don't think anybody wants to pit, but they probably all need to pit, Justin. Tires are probably screaming at them right about now. Watching several cars here on track just managing their exit off of these turns. That was something else Woodrow talked about in the interview with him was, that's where the speed was on exit. Well, guess what? That's where the trouble is too. If you drive this car a little bit too hard off of that right rear, you will get loose, break free, and we'll tell them where you'll end up. Hopefully not into somebody else. But what a race going on right now. We've got a good clean one here to get started. Certainly don't want to jinx anything. Paul Pepper back here in 13th, looking to make a move on Tommy Ryan. He backs off, heading into the turn. Thinks better of it. Here comes Ryan, though. Ryan already have 7 spots. Travis McQuiston in front of him, trying to take another one down before we get to this first pit stop.
Yeah, the first pit stop should come around lap 32-33 range, because while the fuel will last to about lap 45-50 range, your tires are going to be long gone by then, like I said before. And you're seeing cars struggling with that, like Paul Pepper. That's why he fell back to Ryan, as Ryan had made the pass on the previous lap. And you're seeing Paul Pepper fall back. It's also why you're seeing guys who are fairly decent drivers, Ricky Harden, fall back from 7th to 15th now in the standings, already possibly going to lose a spot to Justin Rodden right now with how much speed he's losing. He is about 0.3 slower than the cars in front of him right now with how much the tires have fallen off. Like, look at this.
All right, a little bit further up the field, James Grahula did get by Brian Yazik. Yazik, car seems to be falling off just a little bit. Grahula is now up to 8th. He's moving forward up 2 spots. Yazik seems to be struggling just a little bit. I saw him get a little bit of a wall coming out of turn 4 a moment ago. I believe on the last lap it was. And Grahula. Oh, Woodrow Mahan. Oh, Mahan off the track. Oh, and he got into it with Justin Rodden. Rodden actually triggers it. Rodden catching the wall, coming off of turn 4, a tank slapper, takes out Woodrow down to the inside with him. They don't come back up into the racing line, and the yellow does not come out. We stay green.
Yep, that was out of the way of the action. Look at this once again. You can see Rodden having that looseness out of 2, and Mahan has nowhere to go. Both the cars are totaled. Now you have smoking engines from Rodden, as both of those guys probably have barbecues going on in pit lane right now with Team Flannel at this point.
Oh boy, yeah, Justin bringing it on in. Adam Patel also having trouble. I see another car getting off of the pit. Steve Price coming in for a pit. This could be a scheduled stop here for Steve. I don't see any damage to the car yet. Number 78 is in.
And this is his first race here in the Patriot Fire Cup Series, trying to have a bit of a tire difference to possibly get towards the front, as it looks like we might have something else going on. Pardon me there.
We've got cars making a call now to come down pit road here, Justin. Brian Yazik going to lead him down. Oh, James Grahula dips in. Cohan is ahead of him.
Yeah, they probably noticed Steve Price going in and thought, I got to probably match here in case it comes down to pit strategy. And coming all on in, all of them probably going to get 4 tires. Tyler Dalton overrunning his pit stall a little bit. He's going to lose a couple seconds as everyone's going to come in for 4 tires and fuel.
I'm following Steve Price now. He was the first car to come out. He's in turn 3. Making his way through the center of the turn now. Price going to complete his outlap here out of 4.
And a few more cars also in now. Drew Carroll, Steve Price. Actually, pardon me, Steve Price is the one who's out there. Drew, Devin, Sarah, Brody Hayes, all in the mix right now of cars going in.
All right, but our leaders still on track. Jeff Ward, Thomas George. Could be a case of monkey see, monkey do here pretty quick. Ward now has staked himself to almost a 2-second lead on Thomas George. And then you go all the way back to Scala in third, a full 7 seconds back.
Yeah, and here comes Nick Cohen just to show the tire difference right by Jeff Ward like he's standing still. That's about a 3-second difference between fresh tires and 26-lap-old tires, 28-lap-old tires, pardon me. That's how important the tires are here today.
Yeah, an unfortunate couple cars behind the wall here early. Woodrow Mahan and Justin Rodden both taking their cars behind the wall early in this race. Jeff Ward still on track, still leading this thing. Thomas George, 2.5 seconds back. Basically, your top 15 still all on track. Everybody else behind them at pit.
Yeah, and speaking of that battle just outside the top 10 right now, it is 2 by 2 just about for 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15th right now, as you're seeing 2 cars right on behind in that grouping of Wattel, right behind Gerald Livingston, trying to hold off some positions. A lot of battles here, but of course all these guys do have to pit, so I wouldn't expect the battles to last for long. And some of those cars are on fresher tires too, which doesn't help things.
Right. And up to the lead, Jeff Ward just got passed by James Carhula, who's working to get that lap back. Carhula passed him like he was standing still. Jeff Ward looking like he's getting maybe to set up here for a pit stop.
Yeah, you
probably doesn't want to. Go ahead, Justin.
I was going to say that he probably doesn't want to go in, like you were going to say, he probably doesn't want to go in too early. He might be going under the 2 pit stop strategy no matter what. I'm thinking with how a lot of the cars went around 25 to 28, there might be some people rolling up the dice saying, I'm going to go 3 times to try and beat guys like Jeff Ward today. That's why you might have seen cars go in when you think about it on the long run here. So people are playing the pit strategy game with what has been a clean race for the most part so far.
And it looks like our pit delta is going to be somewhere right around 38 seconds. Presently, Nick Cohan is the first car he's in the lead of all the cars that have had at least 1 pit stop. And he sits right now behind our leader about 32 seconds. So, let's see here. How much can Jeff continue to lose here? He's losing about 2.5 seconds every lap. And with every passing lap, that's got to really hurt. That's going to leave a lot of work for him to do, unless he thinks that this race is going to go green the whole way. Certainly possible. I don't know if it's likely, but it's certainly possible. We've gotten a great start here tonight. Actually, we're going to be talking about the halfway point here before we know it. But right now, the key for all these drivers left here, the 11 cars that have not pitted, is to just keep it clean and green. Jeff Ward in the pits. And there we go. Thomas George going to follow him right in. Let's keep an eye on Nick Cohan, where he's at on track.
And this is exactly where I predicted with the 2-stop strategy. They are anyone who has that 2-stop strategy coming in. You have Paul Pepper. You have a few others right behind. Right now coming in, Gerald Livingston, a few others. as Jeff Ward already losing the lead. Of course, there are a couple other drivers still having a pit, still on the track, including Chris Scala and Travis McQuistion.
All right, and Nick Cohan comes around into turn 2. Jeff Ward now just getting out. So, bit of a shake-up here. We still have 7 cars have not come in. Oh, Chris Scala coming in now. Travis McQuistion moves up to the lead of this race. Ricky Harden in second. Scala, Adam Jersky coming in. Rich Jetty looks like he's going to stay out. Really, really pushing those cars. 33 laps. Cars that have stayed out.
Yeah, but some of them might be banking on the tire difference between the 3 stoppers and the 2 stoppers, because while you have Travis McQuistion, he's going to probably be thinking of going down pit lane just in a second here, hopefully. In fact, he's going to stay out this time. What I was going to say is, the cars that are pitting with the 2-tire strategy, they're going to have about a 10-lap difference between the 3-car strategy and the 2-car pit stop strategy. That's going to be a major speed difference for guys like Jeff Ward, like Thomas George, to be able to move up to guys currently up at the front like Nick Cohan, like Drew Carroll at the moment. So that's going to be a difference on the long run game. They're expecting this to stay green probably, hence why they went with this strategy.
Well, Ricky Harden. Oh, we got a battle here for 6. McQuistion and the 20, David Serra. I'm sorry, that was Tyler Dalton and Sarah. My bad, guys. I was looking at 2 screens right there, not paying attention.
Well, this is a big track with a lot of action, and you're seeing that action as Sarah is now underneath of Dalton. Take a look at this, Sean. It's going to be Sarah trying to get the better burst in the corner to try and get in front of Dalton on the exit. And that's exactly what he's going to do, slide up and have a clean exit. Good pass there from Sarah.
Yeah, and those 2, obviously, they've gotten their pit stops taken care of. The only 2 cars that have not pitted are going to be Ricky Harden and Rich Jetty. Sir Cohan now up to P2. And tell you what, Cohan is really, really laying down some bad fast laps since his pit stop about 11 laps ago. Car just seems to be getting much better on this run. Ricky Harden only 7.5 seconds ahead of him, and that's closing really, really quick.
They, of course, it helps with Cohan, not just with the first tires. He's got some clean air right now. Basically, no one in front of him compared to where Ricky Harden is on the track. He's got the space to run his line, run his race, really, without having to worry about traffic, which is why he's starting to put down these fast laps and is going to try and get past Harden here. It's a 2-second difference right now. I don't think this is going to hold up if Harden's trying to stretch it to a 1-stop race. Sean, do you think that might be what he's thinking here?
I certainly think he could be thinking it, and it certainly wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility that an unacceptable team member would be doing something like that. We've seen them play the long strategy and fuel before. This race could be falling into Ricky Harden's hands right now.
Yeah, well, let's look at what's up.
Yeah, Krahula overtakes Rich Jetty for a spot here. And we'll look at it. We're going to pick that up on the replay, I thought.
Yeah, it helps with Rich Jetty losing spots as well for those 2 spots, in fact, for 6th and 7th. Let's look at the replay from James Krahula, as he has Brody Hayes right behind. Rich Jetty is one of the 2 cars who have not pit, and he just got zoomed by quickly. That may be why he's coming in right this second.
Well, lots going on, and not all of the pit stops completed. Ricky Harden kind of taking everybody for a ride here right now. Oh no, Rich Jetty's got trouble in the pits. What is going on? He missed his pit. Had to back it up. Wow.
Well, that's a way to get in your pit stall. And
Ricky Horton. Oh. Boy, that was close. I'm thinking he might get a penalty for that. Maybe. I don't know. He might have reeled it in just in time. Certainly going to lose time, though.
I think he might have got a speeding penalty because he was about 65 miles per hour when he crossed by the speed cones. The limit is 55 here, and because he's seen that tire smoke trying to slow down, that's going to really hurt hard in here.
Yeah, he got away with it. He's off and good. Back to battle here for 5th. Brody Hayes, James Carhula, Brody up on the top side. He's got it. Brody Hayes pulls off that move on James Carhula. Those two on about the same strategy as far as tires go. Only a lap separates them. That's all talent there by Brody getting around James Carhula.
Yeah, he's basically a bit of a young gun because he started with the service in 2011 when he was 8 years old. That is a young time to really start, for sure. So, of course, he's been on the service now for just about 6 years, and is, as you can see, he's got a lot of talent in him for a young gun, and a long way to go, of course, for the Elkhorn, Wisconsin native, who's been running good so far, as you're seeing. A great performance for a first race in this series for Hayes.
All right, let's run it down for you as we're fast approaching the halfway point of this race. Let me give you your top 10. It's Nick Cohan, Drew Carroll, Devin Serra, Tyler Dalton, Brody Hayes in 5th, James Carhula sitting in 6th right now, Tommy Ryan all the way up from 19th spot, finds himself in 7th. Jeff Ward back to 8th. Thomas George currently in 9th. And Brian Yazik in 10th. So, bit of a shake-up here in the top 5. We got a lot of guys running well, earned those spots up there, doing it on speed right now and a little bit of strategy. But as I said, we are really, really close to this halfway point. It's been a great race. We have not seen the yellow laundry yet. We had a close one. Accident that involved a couple of cars. I believe that was Justin Rodden and Woodrow Mahan. Got into it earlier. Both of them had taken their machines behind the wall. Everybody else remains on track though. 29 cars rolling.
And a few different cars going into the pits. Steve Price and Norman Peltier both in. Peltier, he's already gotten his tires. He's sitting there a fairly long time with some damage there, so he might be getting some repairs. Steve Price, of course, was the first to come in with the three-stop strategy, pardon me. So something's going on with Norman Peltier to be still sitting there as Price is rolling.
Yeah, not sure. Norm might have picked up a penalty there getting in. We've got a battle. The battle up front it's starting to look pretty good here. Cohan still got control of it, but here comes Drew Carroll. Carroll starting to kind of reel him in here just a bit. Was a little bit faster on that last lap, about 2/10. Seems to have found his groove. Clipping the apex, looking to get around and to the lead of this race. Good start for these guys.
A real good start. Cohan making his way from ninth now all the way to the lead thanks to pit strategy and how it was driving on the first green flag run, really. So he's going to have a battle here trying to stop Carroll at this point. Look at this, though, for P4. How about that for a pass? Brody Hayes getting by Tyler Dalton as they were. And now Drew Carroll now getting towards that back bumper and actually making the pass.
Oh, it's done. Yeah. Yeah, Drew, boy, Drew just drove right under him going into the turn, pulls right up in front of him, and now clearly the leader of this race, Drew Carroll, here in the Loud Pedal 200, Loud Pedal Motorsports 200, doing it at just the right time. Did he make that move too early? Does Cohan have something left to take it back? Let's see. 2 laps to the halfway point, and the MP3 Designs Pole Award, not MP3 Designs, I'm sorry, the American Pool Supply Halfway Award. Got my sponsors all jumbled up there, Justin. 2 laps will decide it here.
And you look at this with Jeff Ward, meanwhile, he was on the 2-stop strategy. You can see that tire difference is helping him move his way back through the field. He's just outside the top 5, Jeff Ward. There's a reason he led 22 laps. At the start of this, he's got a fast car. Now he's got the strategy as we're coming towards the 1 to go mark, towards halfway.
All right, 1 lap to go here as we start lap 50. Drew Carroll reaching down deep. Nick Cohan digging a little bit deeper. And it looks like the front end of that car sliding just a little bit. Yeah, Nick having a little bit of trouble there with 24 laps on those tires of really finding any good grip there in the center of the turn. It allows Drew to speed off into turn 3. Set up coming out of 4 here. Your American Pool Supply Halfway Award winner this week here at Michigan International Speedway is going to be Mr. Drew Carroll, the New England driver. Congratulations, American Pool Supply, hashtag the pool is clean. All right, well, we've got the halfway award out of the way. Brian Yazik has decided to come on down for another pit stop. 25 laps, he brings it in.
That lines up with how everyone came in for the first stop who were on the 3 pit stop strategy. It was 25. Now with just past halfway, cars now rolling in. James Corhula might be thinking of doing the same thing as he's doing a bit of a call out. A bunch of drivers, in fact. Tyler Dalton coming in with Andrew Jones and Tommy Ryan right this second.
Wow. All right. So we had a bunch of guys hanging on to that halfway point, deciding to come in now. 4 fresh balonies and fuel will get you back on track and get you fast again. Nick Cohan coming in. Wow. Almost sounds like an auction out there. Everybody calling in. I've got 10. Do I hear 20?
Well, Hayes says 20, along with Sarah, so they're going to come in and try and do a dual bid for a pit stop as well. Bring Carroll along. Cohan bring Carroll along. And we got a small update now on, by the way, the car currently still sitting in the pits in Norman Peltier. As you probably have noticed, he had hit the wall on lap 19, coming out of 2, and is currently 3 seconds off the pace. That's why he's still in the pits getting repairs. He may as well be done at this point, as he's been in there for about 10 laps. No shot really of trying to get back through the grid with how long he's been in there. Meanwhile, Jeff Ward's found his way back to the lead, Sean. Look at that.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Jeff Ward back up front. Charging behind him, making a big run now is James Corhula, trying to get back on this lead lap. James sits there in 16th. He's going to get around Ward. He's now at the back end of this lead lap. Corhula just completing his pit stop.
Yeah, most of the cars coming up right behind of Ward right now have been coming off their pit stops, like Hayes. Sarah's coming right behind with Ryan right now. And you can tell Ward's probably going to be watching in his back mirror to see how fast these cars are coming along to make sure he gives them some space on the fresher tires.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here. I mean, just because he's in the lead doesn't mean he can take a break here. He's got to really, really, like you said, watch that mirror. Be very, very aware of everyone around him. One little mistake by them or him could end what has so far been a great race for him. Another podium opportunity here for Jeff Ward. Do not want to lose it because of a little bit of carelessness or just a break in concentration. We are now past that halfway point. Every lap going to matter. Going to be so critical to the outcome of this race. Again, quick update. We have not had a yellow flag. And I'm not saying that so we bring one out. I'm saying it because it's a very important factor in this race. The pit stops that we've done tonight have all been under a green flag, and it has really, really got the field shaken up right now. Your top 10 all awaiting a pit stop here. Looks like right now we've got, We've got 21 cars on, no, I'm sorry, not 21 cars, but how many cars on the lead lap? 19 cars on this lead lap, yeah. Brian Yazik about to get back on the lead lap here, passing our leader, Jeff Ward. Here's the battle on screen there, though, between, was that Krahula I saw there battling with, Tommy Ryan, Devin Sarah. Yes, there we go. That is a battle for 15th. Ryan on the inside. Across the start-finish line, you got to give it to Sarah right there, but Ryan's not going away. They got a couple cars in front of him running up on Krahula and Brody Hayes. Ooh, wow, that was close. A little bit of contact there between the two, between Sarah and Tommy Ryan.
A little bit of door contact, I think, really, on that left rear, but that's about it. It's not going to be something significant for both of them. And you've seen that partially because Ryan got tight on that entrance. That was a lucky situation for both Sarah and Ryan, as Sarah's now making a move on Krahula.
Yeah, and all four of these cars battling for position very hard right now. Sarah going to the inside of Krahula. He's going to take that position away. Now, give 14th to Sarah. Brody Hayes hanging on. Just barely hanging on to 13th. Coming under fire now. The Toyota just behind him. Devin Sarah gets a little loose off of turn 2. Certainly understandable there. He got that run on Brody Hayes and lost a little bit of downforce on the front end. Now he comes back. Sarah getting a nice run on him here out the exit. Turn 4. Looking to the inside. Doesn't go all the way to the apron, not yet. No, he'll stay on track and give it to Brody Hayes this time. But now Sarah looks to be really, really dialed in to take it away. He does. Trying to bring Krahula with him. No. Brody going to drop it back in line. Maybe going to try and cross him over here. Got a good draft. He's going to try and slingshot him here. No, he's going to give him a little bump. A little bit of bump draft in there. Down the backstretch here at Michigan.
Well, they do go extremely fast down these straightaways. On fresh tires, about 206 to 8 miles per hour. And on the worn tires, it drops to about 204 due to going slower through the corners and slower on exits because of slower in the corners. And you can see Brody Hayes is just deciding to be a little patient. He knows a pit stop's going to be coming up again soon. Doing his lap 60, of course, here. The two tire strategy drivers are probably going to go in about 6 laps.
Our leader, Jeff Ward, is just caught in a hornet's nest right now. Just had Andrew Jones get by him. He's got John Wilco getting by him. And I mean, it's just a whole pack of cars, all just a little bit faster because they've got better tires. But Ward, still really the class of the field, still with 28 laps on the tires, really turning some great laps. And even the lap traffic is proved to be a bit of a challenge for them to get around him. Jeff out there fighting. See a couple other drivers now in the pits. Got Brad Collins, Rick Thompson, Rich Jetty all coming down.
All of them trying to shake it up a little bit. Of course, Jetty had been one of the cars who stayed out until almost lap 40 the last time for pit stops. Decide not to wait this time. Paul Pepper is now in as well. He's going a little bit early for the two-tire strategy, two-stop strategy, pardon me.
Well, I'd say at this point, Jeff Ward right now, good for one more pit stop to finish this race. We'll see how it works out. I think Rich Jenny had some trouble on track. We're trying to find out maybe where that was. We're going to try it on the replay. I think he had some trouble coming out of turn 2, actually. Let's see where the replay lands us here. Yeah, he was coming out of turn 2, and he has a tank slapper coming out of 2. He hit it pretty good. Car just runs up on the track on him. That's all right. We're going to go back live. Rich had a little bit of trouble, and unfortunately, it still got him in the pit.
Even before then, he was almost 2 laps down now.
Okay.
But
sorry, Justin. We got Thomas George, Tim Johnston peeling off the track, coming in with 37 laps to go. That was from second and third. The next one to watch up there, you're going to have Jersky, Scala, McQuistion, Jeff Ward, all still looking for that second pit stop.
And you just called the second pit stop as Ward's going to try and bring in his Bose machine. And he's going to get it down to the speed limit, just a half miles per hour over to come in from the lead. And the Loud Pedal Motorsports self-team member bringing it in, of course, here for his stop. There are still a few drivers still having to come in. Drew Carroll, as you can see in front of Nick Cohan, they did go in together. So this is for the lead right now.
Jeff Ward still in the pit, taking 4 tires and fuel. He is away. Ward is out, back on track.
And just to note, the 2 cars in front of these guys, by the way, still have to go in the pits, Travis McQuistion and Chris Scala. So they are probably trying to stretch out their strategy a little bit for this run, because some drivers may be thinking there's no way this is going to stay green the whole time. Meanwhile, Jeff Ward just falls in line behind Thomas George.
Now, the risk McQuistion, Scala, they take by staying out here on these old tires is trouble. Okay, you don't want to find it, but sounds like Chris Scala just made his call. He's coming in. But every time you push these tires to their limit, man, you open the door to tremendous misfortune. Tonight, we've been pretty lucky. Scala coming in. We're on board with him, the Captain Motorsports driver, coming in at speed. He gets slowed down early. Looks like he's good there at the line. Scala up as high as second there. Now the battle for second rages on. Drew Carroll, Nick Cohan. Who's going to get it? Cohan. Not got it yet, Drew Carroll. Good pace there through the turn. Great pace down the backstretch. On board with Cohan, chasing him. Can you pull him here a little bit? Yeah, Cohan getting a nice run there through the center. But Carroll's still really, really steady. Look at that car. It's stuck to the track, not moving at all. That's what you have to look for coming out of turn 4. Travis McQuistion now in the pits. So leaders coming in, getting these pit stops taken care of here.
Yeah, a few of the drivers also bring in, as you can see, a few different stops. Devin Cannon in that grouping.
Yeah, I honestly don't think, boy, you know, your leaders right now, Cohan and Drew Carroll up here up front, Devin Serra, Brody Hayes, James Corolla, Tommy Ryan, your top 6 right there. Even if you want to go back to the top 8, they really all still need a pit stop. So, in fact, Adam Jersky deciding to come down now.
Yeah, Jersky had been struggling for a couple laps, really, deciding to bring it in. Almost hit the wall at a 2 a couple laps, actually, before getting passed by about 6 cars on fresher tires. He does miss the stall for a second, but smartly brings it in for his fresh Goodyear Eagles.
Yeah, and Jersky had 35 laps on those tires, and not a great wonder why he may have looked a little sketchy there on those last few laps.
The only driver still on track, though, with one stop is currently Ricky Harden, if you believe it still. He had been the one to stay out the longest before, and he's doing it again. This time he's not in the front. He's still in 7th.
That is just unacceptable. Unacceptable. Ricky out there with shenanigans tonight. Let's see if Ricky can pull it off. Boy, Drew Carroll, Nick Cohan going at it right here. Nick now's got the inside of him here, coming down the front straight. Ooh, Nick is going to get it by about a half a car length. Coming across the line, he clears him into 1. Drew Carroll back to 2nd. Again, I don't think these guys can make it till the end. Right now, 18 laps on this run. I expect another pit stop for Nick and Drew. Ricky Harden now in the pits finally. Said that's enough. 30 laps, I'm in.
Yeah, he might be able to go the whole way really now with the way he's spraying out the tires for a 40-lap final run for his tires. But look at this battle again.
Yeah, no, it's still raging on here. Drew wants that spot back. Both of these guys having a great run. Drew, one of those guys that would certainly qualify for someone different getting into victory lane.
And look at that.
Let's him go.
Yeah, you can tell that Carroll had the faster car, I think, to just let him by here. There's still some more time to make the pass once again. It's just the worry of, is it enough? Do you have enough time, really, I should say, for the tire fall off for how you race to be able to get back in front of Carroll? As these two, of course, have been going back and forth, really, for much of the race, ever since these green flag stops started, as Tommy rides in.
Yeah, I think these two are married to each other right now, actually, as far as their strategy goes. It benefits both of them to stay on track together, continue to punch a little bit of hole in the air, and try and keep these cars fast enough to keep pace on the rest of the field. They're 5.5 seconds ahead of Devin Serra. Again, their strategy, I think, keeps them kind of tied together. They lose each other, and then it could be a situation where they're losing too much time every lap. But Carroll, Cohan, I do expect to see them come in at just about the same time. On screen here, Brody Hayes. He's the meat in that sandwich, trying to take it 3 wide down the front stretch. Brody going to get to the inside there of the 20. Boy, Tyler Dalton with a close moment on track. Actually makes contact with Paul Pepper out there. Boy, oh boy. Here's the battle on screen, though. Brody now looking to the inside there of the 20. Ricky Harden in this mix with new tires.
And something's going on with Serra because he called in to pit right out of nowhere. So something's going in.
Let's go on board here. Devin Serra. You see him right there, right outside of Brody Hayes. Harden getting by. There goes Jersky, and Serra decides to come on down to the pit lane.
Yeah, that's going to be his 4th stop of the race. That was a little bit weird. It was like he realized something was going on and decided, I got to go in. It just was, as Cohan's also coming out.
And Drew Carroll just peeled in. James Grahula, Brody Hayes now coming in also. And guess who's going to go back to the front of this race? That would be Jeff Ward. Who, honestly, I think at this point, I think Jeff's good to the end. He can push it. 25 laps to go. Battling right now with Thomas George. Thomas George also a driver who could probably make it to the end on the fuel he's got.
I think the bigger concern is how the tire wear is for the end of this one, because of course, with how they went in, they timed it with how much fuel they'll have for the finish. It's just, will it be enough to hold off the drivers on fresh tires who are coming out of the pits on their 3-stop strategies, or in a couple cars' cases, their 4-stop strategies?
Well, I'll tell you what they don't want to see right now is a caution flag. These guys that have all peeled in for their third pit stops, that would be a backbreaker.
I think that
Ward, I'm sorry there, Justin, but Ward able to open that up back a little bit again on Thomas George. Paul Pepper sits in third, a full 9 seconds back from your leader.
Yeah, they're just hitting their marks really with how they're racing, just focusing as more pit stops. It seems few different drivers making different calls as we're discussing this, but right now Thomas George has to find a way to close this gap and fast. That's about a 0.3 of a second difference per lap right now, and he's falling and losing that draft of Ward with how he's running right now. He's got to find a way to close it and fast with how he's hitting those marks and hitting his lines.
George and Ward, two very, very accomplished drivers too. This is a great battle that if it stays green to the end and those two decide to stay out, the closing laps of this race could get very, very interesting. But Ward right now has put a second between him. Paul Pepper really not gaining any ground back there in third.
And
boy, Thompson having trouble out there on track. Car getting very, very loose. Rick's he's been out there for about 18 laps on those tires, so they're definitely starting to go away on him.
Yeah, he's been near the rear end of the field for much of the race, and you can see he's struggling with that grip of that car with how high he went through 3 and 4 here. Tommy Ryan's going to eat him up like chicken dinner with how he's running on that exit. Look at this, Ryan. He's going to go for the pass very quickly here. And I would expect to see Thompson move up to the high side and just let him by. Yes, sir.
And Justin said I didn't want chicken tonight, and maybe I wanted the filet mignon. Would that be okay?
I think that's actually a better choice.
Okay, all right, good. Just check. All right, man. Listen, James Carula, checking in with him. He's 15th right now. Brody Hayes. You know, those two, we talked about drivers that were kind of married to their strategy. Those two right now are good for each other. They're traveling well, slicing their way back up through the field here. They, of course, just came in here a few laps ago, completing their third pit stops of the race. They, of course, are good to the end. Here, the 23 out there, we haven't talked about him at all, making a call to come in, and that's the 23 is Nicholas Caldwell. Nicholas got a spotter in there. He's got a man on the box actually making those calls for him. The Georgia driver working with a little help tonight. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he made his first race during Pocono and has been running fairly decent. You can see he's near the back today with a bunch of damage. You've seen right as we showed it, he actually was starting to get squirrely with the car, so right time to bring it in for his 4 Fusion. And probably going to bring it in for 4 tires. If you don't get 4 tires, I think you're crazy.
Yeah, we haven't seen anybody try the 2-tire strategy. I think crazy is a good word for that there, Justin. I don't think you want to put yourself in that situation of only taking 2. Adam Jersky gets passed by Brody Hayes and James Carula. They move up to 13th and 14th respectively. Now closing in on Ricky Harden. They're up in 12th. Rick Thompson not too far up ahead of them, so really spirited battle going on here for the top 10 to get into the top 10. Devin Serra holds that 10th spot right now. On board with Ricky Harden as he gets passed there by Brody Hayes. Brody Hayes looking for a sponsor for that Toyota. Wasn't lazy, just hasn't painted the car yet. He's looking saving that money wisely for a good final wrap that's maybe got a sponsor on it.
Possibly. He has been showing a good performance today, so he... And that's our caution.
Boy. Oh, boy. Ricky Harden. Hits the wall, coming out of 2. Let's see what happened to Ricky here. We're on board with him. And it looks like... Oh, boy, he does that right on the inside there. Right right, on the inside there, the Rick Thompson getting by him. Doesn't hit anything.
Yeah,
oh boy.
Yeah, he just started getting loose right through the entire corner of 2. That was the case of there's a spot on that bottom groove where if you're too low, that's exactly what will happen. He was lucky to just side spin it there and just slide his way down the beginning of the backstretch. But that's going to mix up the strategy big time for this entire race.
Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh.
Yeah, that completely changes the complexion of this race with the 2 car stop drivers, the 3, the 4. Like, now the cars that are on 2-tire strategies have the advantage. They're out in front of just about everyone with 3 tires.
Well, here we go. We get our first caution of the night. We will definitely have a Coastal Safety Auditor's lucky dog. I'm still trying to figure out who that's going to be. We're going to get the pit stops in first, then we'll get the lucky dog. Leaders coming down. They're the only ones who can pit. Lap cars have to stay on track. Tyler Dalton going to lead that field around with the lap cars still out there. And pit road is a busy place, Justin.
A very busy place. All the lead cars coming in for their stops. A few drivers overrunning their pit boxes, mainly Thomas George, as everyone's coming in. Jeff Ward getting his tires. Brian Yasek is one of the last drivers now coming into his stall. Meanwhile, Johnston is rolling. Ward's rolling, spins the tires out by a country mile. Tim Johnston moving into second. Thomas George third. Paul Pepper fourth. And Travis McQuistion fifth.
All right. And that is going to give our Coastal Safety Auditors lucky dog, Brutus. Good boy, Brutus. You've been a good boy staying in there all night waiting for us. That's going to go to Tyler Dalton, getting himself back on the lead lap with a chance to win this race. We are going to take a quick break, catch our breath for just a moment because this is the first caution flag, and be back with you in just a moment here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Welcome back to the Irish Hills of Michigan here at Michigan International Speedway. The Loud Pedal Motorsports 200 here in the Patriot Fire Cup Series. And man, what a run. 86 laps. No cautions. We finally get one. Everybody comes in, pits, cycles around. The lights are out on the pace car. We took a break. We're ready to go. Justin and I going to have 12 laps to call for you here to the checkers. Jeff Ward still leading this race. Tim Johnston going to start just outside him there. Thomas George in third. Paul Pepper fourth. Travis McQuistion fifth. Drew Carroll sixth. Nick Cohan seventh. Tommy Ryan eighth. Chris Scala in ninth. And Devin Sarah to round out your top 10. But it's going to be Ward that gets him started from the point. The pace car is about done and ready to turn left. And here it goes. And there goes Jeff Ward. Boy, he didn't wait for anything. He waited. As soon as that car turned left, he was on the loud pedal. Jeff Ward back to the lead. They're 3 wide across the line, heading down to the turn 1. Thomas George all the way down there at the bottom. Paul Pepper is the meat. Oh, Paul having trouble hanging onto it.
Yeah, multiple cars went 3 wide, and McQuistion getting a little bit squirrely, gets loose out of the corner. He's going to drop back a bunch of spots.
Oh,
and turn around. Thomas George around.
Thomas George gets tipped from Carroll behind. Oh, no.
Oh.
Carroll gets a big run. Hits the 24. Thomas George look down there on the bottom. Boy, there were so many cars that could have been involved in that just miss it. I think we can catch it on board with Kahula, maybe? Well, after this, here we go. This is on board with Thomas George. Carroll's going to get the run to hit him, and it just doesn't line up right. No, not at all. He hits him in the wrong spot of the turn, and it just sends Thomas around. Let's go on board with Kahula here, Justin. This was quite a ride.
Now look at this from James Grahula's perspective. As you can see, McQuistion had been getting loose there. Then the chaos happens with Thomas George. Seconds later, look at this. Just having to watch that and just drives on by cleanly through that and gains a couple spots from it.
Boy, and Thomas George had such a race going. Man, had been battling up in the top 5 all night. And that contact with Drew Carroll, boy, that hurt. That really hurt. And again, Drew just got tremendous run on him there and makes contact with him a little bit late. Had that been a little bit earlier in the straightaway, I don't think that'd have been a problem. But Thomas George was getting ready to turn the car left and just not a good spot to make contact with him. That is a tough break. Look who finds himself up in 4th place right now. Tommy Ryan, struggling all night. Lucky Dog going around now. That's going to be Devin Cannon. I'm sorry, Steve Price Jr. getting that Lucky Dog. Was on the right car. There he is. Steve Price, the Coastal Safety Auditors. Lucky Dog. Thanks, Brutus. I know it hasn't been a very busy night, but we'll let you run afterwards. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment.
Yeah, and Lumpyhead getting the Lucky Dog there. That's his nickname for the service. The reason why, Sean, of course, you mentioned Devin Cannon was during the last caution. We are just trying to mention it now. He had lost control as the pace car was checking up and cars were checking up. He got loose going through 2, clipped the apron, hit the grass, and then slammed the wall hard. That is why Devin Cannon, who just came out of the pits a few moments ago, is now all the way back in 27th, and why he was also going around the same time as the Lucky Dog in Price Jr.
Well, it was a tough restart and another chance to restart this race, but I think our point of no return will probably be about lap 4 tonight. If anything goes down after about lap 4, I think that might be a point we can call of no return. But we're definitely going to get a chance to restart this race and run this thing to the checkers. Jeff Ward still in the lead. Tim Johnston going to complete that first row. Johnston, what a night for him. Started in 21st, now finds him up front with a chance to win. Tommy Ryan, another driver who's put in the work tonight. He started 19th in the top 5 here. He's going to start on the outside in 4th. Really, the top 7 is littered with drivers that have done the work to get here.
One thing to really note quickly, a couple of cars also went in on that caution. This caution, of course, for tires. Going to be interesting to see what guys like Tyler Dalton, Ricky Hart, and Joshua King can do with some fresh Goodyear tires. This is going to be a major tire difference, but I don't know if there's enough time because we'll be at 7 to go when we get green. They are essentially rolling the dice because what do they got to lose, Sean?
They don't have anything to lose at this point, so not a bad call if you're sitting in that position. You never know what's going to happen in front of you, who may get involved in something here. With just laps to go, it's always a good gamble, I think, when you're sitting in that position. I think we'll probably get the lights off on the pace car when we come across this time, which means we'll restart with 7 laps to go. Everybody's got to behave here. We want to get this one under a checkered flag tonight and green. Had such a great race there for better part of about 86 laps. We just caught another caution here real quick. Hold on to your seats. It's going to be a wild ride to the finish here at Michigan.
A very wild ride. Get ready for the roller coaster, the Motor City roller coaster, because this is going to be probably one of the most wild 7-lap runs you'll see in a while here at Michigan. Everyone's going to be battling with up here at the front, Sean.
Ricky Harden entertained us a little bit this afternoon with Detroit Rock City. He was playing that in his little video he posted this afternoon, and kind of got that tune going through my head right now. It's time to get going here as they head down the backstretch. Pace car at the front of this field for what I believe it's going to be the last time. I know Jeff Ward sure hopes it is. Ward, it'll be interesting to see how he gets going here on the restart. The last couple restarts, he's been on it immediately. Will he try and stack the field up? He's giving himself a little bit of distance between him and the pace car. Tim Johnston hanging up top there, right with him. Tim's been watching. Pace car slowly coming around turn 4. The turn right here, right now, and there goes Ward again. Boy, as soon as that pace car turns left, he is off and away. Ward gets all the way down to the apron, gets across, gets a nice jump on the field. So does Tim Johnston. He leaves. Carroll and Ryan back there battling side by side. Everybody behind him side by side. Carroll able to get away. Drops in line behind Johnston. Oh, look at Tommy Ryan making a move on the outside there. Carroll.
Trouble behind them. Chris Scala bumps off the wall, and we're still going green.
Scala able to keep it there in the wall. But boy, oh, who's spinning? Is that... and the 15 of Ricky Harden, the yellow is out. Oh boy, Scala hits it hard, noses in. Man, boy, who was that also caught him? That was Stephen Herring.
Joshua King around as well. John Wilco's a barbecue. Look at this. This is just after Scala hit the wall down the backstretch. Lost control again, couldn't control it, smacks the wall. Herring plows into him, and a few others get collected in the aftermath.
Wow. Going to go on board Ricky Harden. Harden's going to get clipped by Scala, and he's not able to recover from it. His car goes spinning. There's Scala spinning just in front of him, and that gets him right there on the right front. Ricky was at speed there, and the car sliding all over the place, and he's just not able to save it. Winds up being basically a pinball in that machine. Let's go on board with John Wilco for one more here. Take a look. Oof.
Yeah, he is also the barbecue with the back road motorsports car. Bam! Right into Harden. Nowhere to go there. That's why he's now cooking some chicken and filet mignon basically on his motor.
Well,
So
that tore up a lot of good race cars, man. Wow. And you know what? I think we're going to be good to get this race restarted, though, because right now, 5 laps to go. We're probably looking at a green-white checker situation here. In fact, I know we are, because the next time around, I think we should get the lights off. We'll come back around again for what I think is going to set up to be a green-white checker. That's all we can ask for at this point. Lucky Dog is on screen. There it is, Nicholas Caldwell with his first Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dog. That's his first one of the season. Good job, Brutus. I told you we'd get you a little bit more work before the night is in. Throw that dog a bone. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment. Well, Justin, I don't think it's any great surprise. Jeff Ward controls this race right now and have a chance to control the restart once again. I don't think he's beatable from the point. What do you think?
personally, I don't think so too, unless Tim Johnston figures out how to line up exactly with him on the restart. He has seen next to him how he's restarted twice, and he's going to want to have to go as soon as that pace car drops down. He's got to floor it, Tim Johnston, with Jeff Ward. There's no doubt about it, or else his race is gone for his chance to win it. But let's take a look at Chris Gallow's replay again, because I want to see this myself from all the way down to the backstretch, all the way into that chaos that we saw in turn 4, if we can, because look at this. Chris Gallo was in the middle of the swarm in the top 10 after the restart. And we'll see what happened here down the backstretch. It looks like he might have got turned by a car behind, slapped a couple times.
Yeah, that was his teammate, and Chris is on the chat right now saying that he was trying to get a little help from his teammate, and they didn't square up. So I guess that's a risk you're willing to take with just laps to go. It didn't work out, obviously. It damaged a lot of race cars. So, but the good news is we are going to get a chance to restart this race and finish it, hopefully under green. We'll see. These last couple of restarts have not worked out for the back of the field. So we'll see how this one gets restarted. Tim Johnson, though, has got to be feeling pretty good about this run tonight, though. Again, he started back in 21st. It's been a long race here at Michigan. And that Ford, the USAA Ford, is put into work this evening. A lot of it. We can't forget about Drew Carroll. He's been a contender all evening. And then there's that Tommy Ryan guy in the Northern Tool and Equipment Chevrolet. Man, tell you what, Tommy, he's won races. He's won a lot of races. And certainly one of those competitors you don't want to mess with. Always seems to find himself in this spot at the end of a race, near the front, competing for a win. Are the racing gods with him tonight? We're about to find out. As the lights go out on the pace car, everybody going to get double file here. How many cars we got left on track? We got 19 on track. We've got a couple in the pits still getting some repair. A couple of drivers pulling in right now. Probably just going to get fresh tires. See Wilco and Jones coming down the pit lane.
In Wilco's case, he still had been smoking the entire time, and his motor finally expired. That's why he's stopping next to Chris Scala there. And Andrew Jones probably just dropping to the back here as he just goes right on through. But this is going to be a wild green-white checkered, Sean. This is going to be where you want to get your popcorn and your filet mignons out and your bacon-wrapped chicken or whatever else, because this is going to be a finish.
Yeah, it's a little too heavy for the end of the race. I think we were good at popcorn. Keep it a little light here at the end. We got to take a little weight out of the car, Justin. All right, that's the key to victory here. All right, so we'll just stick with the popcorn. It's light, airy, and lots of fun. And so is this restart. Jeff Ward leads this field. The pace car ready to do its last bit of work of the night. Hopefully. Never even said who was driving the pace car. I believe. I don't know. I can't see. Hard to determine. We're going to get away from that. Let's go to the race. because that car, pace car, ready to peel off. Here it goes, the loud pedal. Motorsports 200, back underway. Here goes Jeff Ward. One last time. Down the front straight, on the apron, he comes across the leader. Johnston still up on the top side. There goes Tommy Ryan. To the top, it looked like he was going to the middle, but he couldn't. Drew Carroll was there. Drew Carroll going to get the... Oh,
trouble!
Boy.
Multiple
David Serra. David Serra had big trouble, and the caution's out. Caution's out.
Travis McQuistion was the one who brought out the caution by going around there, but that was crazy. 3 wide, 4 wide almost there. Yeah, Travis McQuistion going around, and that's going to give Jeff Ward the victory as he crosses the line with 1 lap to go.
Now, man, Jeff Ward, here's the replay, and Jerski's going to move up the track just a little bit, and McQuistion spins right in front of Brian Yazik there. Yazik gets a piece of that. Jeff Ward, though, he had the car of the night. Coming around right now, last lap, he has caught the pace car heading in to turn 3. The white flag is out. The Bose Chevrolet Impala SS of Jeff Ward coming around the final bend of the track. The Loud Pedal Motorsports 200 this evening from Michigan International Speedway is coming to a close, and boy, storyline the same here. Jeff Ward with another big win and another big jump up the points ladder here in the overall season standings. Drew Carroll with an excellent run this evening, clipping the apex on point tonight. They're going to finish second. Tim Johnston with an amazing run up to third. Tommy Ryan going to finish in fourth, but across the line, it is Jeff Ward, your winner tonight. 100 laps of sheer excitement here in Michigan. Congratulations, Jeff. Getting a little love there from Paul Pepper. But Ward is the man. Drew Carroll going to finish second. Tim Johnston in third. Tommy Ryan and Paul Pepper are all going to round out your top 5. But the checkers, the field coming across means one thing. We're going to take a quick break here on the Global Sim Racing channel and be right back with you with some interviews here at the podium and a complete rundown of where everybody finished tonight. Back in a moment. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing channel, and you just saw the Loud Pedal Motorsports 200 from Michigan International Speedway. And man, what a race. 100 laps are in the books here, round 25 out of the way. Let's go to our results. Jeff Ward, the big winner tonight. Boy, this is becoming a common theme here this season. Another big win for him. I believe that's going to be 5. Drew Carroll going to finish second. Tim Johnston in third tonight. 18 spots he climbed to get there. Tommy Ryan, another big mover. Up to 4th he finishes. Started in 19th. Paul Pepper started in 12th with a 5th place finish tonight. Nick Cohan started in 9th. He'll finish 6th. Devin Serra with a consistent run all night. Did have a little bit of trouble out there on track, but he still finishes 7th. James Grahula comfortably finishes in 8th. It was an up and down evening for him, but an 8th place is a great finish. Brody Hayes, the rookie, makes a good showing tonight. He was definitely putting on a heck of a show for us, so we'll look forward to seeing him next at Bristol. He'll finish 9th, and Tyler Dalton, my pick to win this thing. Sorry, Ty. He's going to finish 10th.
And a decent run, though, still for your Woodshed pick. Adam Jersky with another decent run. He started off 20th, the first car to not record a time. He finishes 11th overall. In front of your point scooter coming into tonight, Brian Yazik, who had some struggles, had some self-inflicted damage, and then caught up a little bit in the last caution there. Still finishes 12th overall with a decent run. Rick Thompson, 13th on the grid. His teammate, right behind him, Brad Collins, finishes 14th. Steve Price Jr. in his first race in the Patriot Fire Cup Series comes away with a top 15 finish. And while Ricky Harden, he was trying to do a bunch of different things strategy-wise throughout the entire race. It did not work out. Ended up sliding out of 2, comes away 16th overall. Nicholas Caldwell, 17th on the final grid. Travis McQuistion had gone around to bring out that last caution. He finishes 18th overall. Gerald Livingston comes away the first car, a lap down, 19th and 20th. Andrew Jones.
All right, I'll take the rest here. 21st, John Wilco. 22nd, Joshua King. Chris Scala going to wind up 23rd. 24th for Stephen Herring. 25th, Adam Blattell. Thomas George, man, he was a runner tonight. Found the bad luck. He'll finish 26th. Devin Cannon, a 27th place finish. Rich Jetty, 28th. Norman Pelletier, 29th for him tonight. Justin Rodden, 30th. 31st on this grid tonight. That's going to be, who finished 31st? Woodrow Mahan was the first driver out tonight, and he got into it with Justin Rodden, so they actually both out at the same time, both went behind the wall after that incident. Our first caution flag of the night. And what a night it was. And actually, I'm sorry, Rodden and Mahan did not bring out a caution. Our first caution, as we said before, didn't come out until I believe it was lap 84 or 86. But we have caught up with the winner of this race, Jeff Ward. Good evening, my friend. Does winning ever get old?
No, sir. We had some bad luck at the beginning of the year, so it's nice to get back in the groove here.
Yeah, you're definitely in a groove. It was the key to winning this race. Was it the restarts? Was it starting up front? I mean, is that really is that the key to pulling this off?
Well, the cautions kind of saved us there at the end. Really, there were a couple fast guys back there, so there were 2 cautions back to back that kind of just milked the laps away, and then end up getting it under caution there. But yeah, I mean, getting off on the restarts were good there, and I knew Drew was good on restarts behind me, and Tim did a good job. So the cautions kind of saved us, or it would have been probably about a 10-lap shootout there.
Yeah, and but talk about the green flag run this evening. How much were you getting out of those tires? When were they really starting to hurt?
After about 25 to 30 laps, the right rear started fading so bad that it was hard to keep it out of the wall and exit. I felt like we had a good strategy. I think me and Thomas George were on the same strategy, and it was going to bring us right down, to the wire with the guys that were on that other strategy. It would have been like a 3-second difference, I think, is what it looked like it was going to be on the math there. But yeah, the green flag run was awesome, man. I wish we could get more of them. So maybe this is a start to good things.
Well, hey, listen, we're going to leave the fall session, the first race of the fall session. You're going to lead the points here. You're starting with a clean slate. You've been on one heck of a run, man. Right now, you're still 10th in the points. I think about 241 or so points back behind the leader. Anything is possible. All you got to do is keep showing up and keep winning these things. Great strategy, though, for you this evening. It works out, and you get the big win. Congratulations.
Yep, thanks, Sean. And if I could, I just want to say, with the news of Bryce Whitson, I just want to say that all of Loud Pedal Motorsports are thinking about him, and hopefully he can make a speedy recovery from that. So that's definitely on our thoughts tonight here.
Yeah, and you know what, Jeff? I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't bring it up during the broadcast. It just this all just came down hours ago before the race started, and I did see Bryce's post. So for those of you that don't know, Bryce, a former competitor here in the series and a friend of everyone, Jeff, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on with him right now?
It's some type of acute leukemia. I don't know a whole lot about it. I just seen his post, and that kind of caught me off guard, and I'm sure it caught a lot of other people off guard. Bryce is, a good friend here in the community, and I've raced side by side with him a lot, and just hopefully he can pull through on that. That's a rough deal, man, and one of them deals where it kind of, I'm sure it caught him by surprise and everybody in the sim community here. So
yeah,
hopefully I hope for the best on that.
Yeah, we do. And man, we've had some really, really tragic stuff here in the past couple of weeks here in the sim community. Man, our thoughts, prayers out to Bryce Whitson Jr. and his family. One of the original founding members here in actually the Premier Racing League. Bryce been around for a while, and we're going to continue to check up on him and hope for a speedy recovery, like Jeff said. But Jeff, thank you. We will see you next week at Bristol, brother.
All right, guys. See you there.
All right, that was Jeff Ward. Now, Justin Prince has caught up with a very, very hard partying and celebrating Drew Carroll.
Yes, Drew Carroll had a equally fast car for much of the race compared to Jeff Ward, and he came away with a second-place finish. Drew, how difficult was it to try and battle with Ward throughout much of this race for what came out to be a second-place finish for you?
Yeah, it was difficult. We definitely had two of the strongest cars all night. I definitely thought we had a car to win. And we just tried to get off sequence with him and what he was doing. But, it was just a great day for everybody on this Clipping That Apex Chevy Chevy SS, because we changed. Just a great day. Really, really good car. I'm really disappointed in second. I really wanted to get that win. We were really close. We won the Grand National race on Tuesday, and I really thought we had a car that could win today. And we were proving it there for a lot of the race. Just didn't have the brakes fall our way there at the end.
Yeah, how difficult was it to try and catch up with that? I know there was a few restarts at the end of this race. How did that change up how your strategy was going with how it was about an 86-lap green flag run to start off this race? How did that and then all the late cautions change your strategy as it went on?
Well, the green flag run, it was pretty much coming to the end of there. We just made our last pit stop, and it was just go. It was probably going to be between myself, Jeff Ward, and Nick Cohan, who was with me the entire race. We figured that was going to be us three up there battling for the win, and that caution came out. And I think we restarted, I believe it was sixth or seventh. No, it was sixth. That caution came out, and then there's no strategy to those restarts. You just got to go with under 15 to go. So I got a good restart there. I was able to take it 3 wide on the outside, then cut back down off 2. And the 24, Thomas George tried to block me, and I just went to go give him a bump, and I guess I didn't line up square or whatnot, and shot him straight into the wall. So, I got to apologize for that. It really sucks that that had to happen, but I don't know what else I could have done different there, but just one of them deals, just everybody going for it right there with under 15 to go on, a late race restart.
I was just about to ask about that bump with Thomas George on the first restart of the race after the first caution, but essentially now, what do you plan to do now as you have some momentum now after this great run at Michigan? You're going now to Bristol at the Glass Gray Coliseum, which is going to be a madness of a race, to put it. what are you going to do for Bristol to try and set yourself up for another good run and try and get a victory?
I mean, it all starts with practice and just having speed. Patriot Motorsports brings great cars to the track every week, so I'm sure we're going to offload with a great car. Just got to, be patient at Bristol is the biggest thing, is being patient. If we can be patient and just, move our way forward and be there at the end, that's all that matters. But didn't make a few friends tonight, so that's going to kind of put a little bit of a damper on things for next week. But we're just going to have to try to race smart around them and race smart around everybody and just try to set ourselves up for a good position.
Yeah, and LPM did have a strong run in its sponsorship race, the Loud Pedal Motorsports 200. Hopefully the rest of your team is excited about how this turned out for everyone a part of your team. Congratulations on the second place, Drew.
Thank you. I just want to add real quick, I know Jeff mentioned it, but just want to keep Bryce Woodson in our thoughts and prayers. It really sucks that news caught, I believe, everybody by surprise, and, especially him, and I know we've had our battles before, but this really sucks for him. So I just want to keep him in my prayers, and I hope everybody else does the same.
Thank you very much for the time, Drew, and you have a good night.
All right, Justin, and let's go ahead and look at the points real quick as we get ready to close up shop here for the night, and we'll see where we sit here at the close of tonight's race. The season standings are as such. Nick Cohan has now officially caught Brian Yasek. He's only a point behind him. Yasek not happy about the way that race ended. It cost him big points. Nick Cohan right there. Tommy Ryan, 97 points back there in third. Look at the battle, though, between fourth and seventh there. Tyler Dalton, Ricky Hart, and Thomas George, James Skrull all knotted up there within just under 20 points. Tim Johnston in 8th, Drew Carroll 9th, only 30 points separate them, and then back to Jeff Ward, 241 points out of first. At the rate he's going, he can do this. He's got a lot of work to do. He's going to need some half-point bonuses. He's going to need more wins. But you know what? We've seen another series before. No one is out until they're mathematically out. And right now, he is not mathematically out of this thing. So big things to come here for Jeff Ward. Big things to come next week as we head to Bristol. We get ready to wrap this one up tonight. Come see us again with the Premier Racing League this Sunday night, August 20th, when the PRL American Pool Supply Truck Series will make its visit to Bristol Motor Speedway. What could possibly go wrong with that? We'd like to thank the drivers and organizers of the Premier Racing League for coming here tonight and putting on a tremendous show. Thanks to the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcast listed here on your screen now. Additional thanks always go out to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde, who provide all of the music you hear here on the Global Sim Racing channel. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of their great work if you'd like. Thanks to the team today, Justin Prince, Jed Yaman, the great Dougie Beard. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at our glorious website, globalsimracingchannel.com. Check that out, please. Or you can check us out on social media. We are definitely there. Twitter at GSR Channel, or on Facebook. If you just go there, type in Global Sim Racing Channel, all one word. It'll pop right up, I promise. Now, we have other races listed here on screen for other series that we covered. Check those out, mark them down on your calendar. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.